All right, what's up, legends? We're back. Episode number, what do we got? 55. That's pretty good. We've been away for a couple of weeks, but we've had reasonably legitimate excuses. I was away on holidays last week and was on a field trip on recording day. And we all know not to record podcasts on a field trip. We learned that the hard way. So that was my excuse. And Hendo, the week before, I think he was showing the beer 30 goes around. We will try to be more consistent though, because it's a lot more fun when we do it every week. Here comes the boss man right now. What have I got here? Delete and quit. All right. Here he is. There he is. Oh, the light as well.
Hello.
Hello.
What's going on?
What's happening?
Oh, back on the tools, aren't we?
That shirt looks very crisp. Is that do you just keep shirts in good condition, or is that a new one?
No, it's a new one. I had some spares sitting at the back there, and that's probably the lighting as well.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Nice.
To make me look good.
Do I look brown than usual?
No. Did you live on the beach? Of course you're going to be brown.
I've been away for a week in the sun.
Where did you go?
Very white.
Where did you go?
We went down to we went to Broken Head for the weekend with the kids.
It's nice down there.
It was nice, yeah. And then we dropped the kids back and then went away for a week down south. So I went to end up at Red Rock.
Where's that?
Red Rock's like it's north of Corindy Beach, so 30 minutes north of Coffs.
Yeah, right.
It's pretty cool. There's like literally nothing there. There's a bowls club and a general store, and that's it. We were staying right on the river, so that was cool.
Nice.
But yeah, got to a few breweries and
Which
went to
breweries
so
you
many
go?
restaurants and bars and shit. It was awesome.
Which breweries you go?
Went to Wandana, which I hadn't been to. Oh, we stayed in Mullumbimby
yeah.
for a couple of nights on the way down.
Oh, yeah.
Someone's property in a little tiny home. That was cool.
Did you get on the Mullumbimby madness?
Yeah, something like that.
Just non-degree.
Yeah. Went to the Whoopi Brewing, which is Woolgoolga.
Oh yeah.
And saw Charlie, so that was really cool.
Yeah. How's he going there?
It's good. He's working pretty fucking hard. They got a lot going on.
Yeah. What, building or production?
Production.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, there was a rally on that weekend, and they've got like a stadium deal for like the little stadium they've got there, and it's a small town, but it's like it's not tiny. It's kind of like Brunswick Heads kind of size. Have you been there?
No.
It's really cool. It's a really cool little place.
Oh, I need to go and do a bit of a tour there. What do you got there? What are you drinking?
This actually, well, no, I've got a sponsored beer.
No.
Wait, have you got a beer?
Yes, I've got 2 beers here.
What are you working
from
with?
the same brewery? Not sponsored beers, but they were gifted to me.
Wait, say that again.
I've got 2 beers. They're not sponsored, but they were gifted to me.
Okay, that's the same as mine. It's not technically a sponsored beer. It's a gifted beer.
Gifted beer. What have you got?
I've got the Woolgoolga Brewing Road Trip and IPA.
Oh, what are Charlie's beers?
Yeah, so I think I don't actually know if this one. So this is. He was sort of getting to the point of this is probably his one here. He said he was kind of refining everything, and some beers in the tanks were his, some beers on tap were not. So, but I think he's dialing it in, and he was happy with how things were coming along.
Very good.
And I met the owner, Sarah, or one of the owners. She was cool too. It's a really cool place. They got the dude from the Whitlams, Tim Friedman.
Yeah.
He's playing there in January, so I'm going to go back for that for sure because he's awesome.
I've seen the Whitlams before. They were pretty good.
They're the best.
I saw them at the Paddo in Perth.
Wait, there's a Paddo in Perth?
There is.
When you said the Paddo, I assume it was the Paddo.
No, not that Paddo, but that Paddo. There you go. Look at that. Welcome back.
Oh, that looks good. So, wait, you're going to show me what the beer is?
Oh, yeah, sorry. This is the White Lakes 100-day Pilsner.
White Lakes?
Yeah. From Western Australia.
Pretty flashy looking can.
I know. It's a 100-day Pilsner.
Nice. That means it's in one of those long tanks for 100 days?
Oh, yes. Yeah, something like that. Cheers, mate. Yeah.
Mm.
Holy shit.
Nice.
Oh, wow. That's really good. Do you know what's better than 100-day Pilsner?
No, tell me.
101-day Pilsner.
Okay. All right. You know when you asked me that question, I waited like 20 seconds to answer it.
Yeah.
On the last episode, you wouldn't know this because you don't listen to it back, but I did a thing in Audition to cut out all of the fucking silence. I tried to cut out all of the long pauses,
Right.
which is mainly just the kind of delay between Zoom and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it shortened the episode. So I don't know if anyone listening, if they noticed that, it might stop people.
How much shorter was it?
It was about 6 minutes, I think, over like an hour and a half.
Huh.
Quite a lot.
That's a lot of silence time.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if anyone, no one said anything, but the people who listened at 1.5 speed, let us know if you noticed the sharper, shorter, sharper episodes. It's pretty easy to do, but I didn't listen to the whole thing back, so I don't really know if I fucked it up, but it seemed to squish everything a bit closer together.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see what happens, I suppose.
Definitely. All right.
That beer is bloody delicious.
Nice.
Very, very good. That
Has
glass
anything
is
been happening
filthy.
with you, or are you ready to get into the news?
Oh, I'm finished up the TAFE semester. That's it for the year now. And I've got a couple of projects with TAFE over the summer, and I got tickets to the Grand Prix.
Yeah, you mentioned that. How did that come about?
I just had a mate in Melbourne who went with this year to the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And we sort of said to each other, fuck going in general admission this year. And so let's just go and get some, do a hospitality package and that sort of thing. So, yeah, I dropped $2,500 on Grand Prix ticket.
That's the best. So what do you get for that?
You get a seat in the Brabham stand, which is at the end of the first straight, at the first chicane there.
Yeah.
And then you get a hospitality package. You have to walk 50 meters across. There's a place over on the lake there. And, it's air conditioned, free food, free piss, big screen TV.
So would you watch the race in there? Or would you watch
No way.
You're watching the stand?
No way. But between races, I'd certainly go and get out of the sun and have a beer.
Yeah, yeah.
And not having to queue for beer or pay for beer, not having to queue for food and pay for food. Being that stands right near the stage where all the artists play and that sort of thing. It's a pretty good spot. So
can you see the kind of podiums at the end?
No, not from there, but we can get on the track.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So after there's the green car, not the pace car, but at the end of the race, there's a green car that sort of marks that signifies that the track is clear.
Oh yeah.
And after that car passes, you can walk onto the track straight after the race.
That's cool.
Yeah. So maybe I might go watch the podium thing. And then instead of battling all of the people trying to get on the tram, go back to the thing and sink some more beers.
Yeah. How long can you stay in there for?
It's open till 9 p.m.
Nice.
So it's fucking go queue up for trams. I'm sinking free beers. Thanks.
That sounds fun. That'll be good. No Daniel Ricciardo though, but that's okay. There'll be. We got Oscar.
He will be there. He'll definitely be there.
He'll be there. You got Piastri
there doing his
next year.
Well, exactly. So that should be pretty good. And I'm kind of looking forward to that. I just don't treat myself to too many things, but that's what I treated myself to.
That'll be so awesome.
Yeah, should be really good. There's a spare ticket if you want to go.
Yeah, I know. I've basically run out of money for my house, and I've got a massive hole in my backyard, which I need to finish. So
is that your pool?
Done, yeah.
Stop pictures. It's fucking sick, mate.
Yeah, but I need a bit of money to finish it off because you can't really have.
You know what, right? So you've just finished the Danchin, and I finished my renos about just under a year ago and that sort of thing, right? Yes. So early days for you, but what's the best part and the worst part of your renovation/house building? And then I'll tell you mine.
What the finished product or the process?
The finished product, the thing you really like about the place,
Yeah.
and the one thing that you really dislike.
Okay. The thing I think I fucked up was the size of the walk-in road.
Too small or too big?
Too small.
Right. Did you
It's
have a
fine
choice?
for me, but I think someone buying a house like this would want something bigger.
Rightio.
Yeah. Favorite thing. I just like that the modern houses are very, very well designed. Like yeah. I would say I like my speaker system's good because I can just airplay music
Yep.
in my
Whatever
lounge room
room.
or the outdoor room, and it comes out of the ceiling and it fucking cranks. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, good shit.
I think generally as a place to live, like modern houses, they're designed very, very well. Like they're just every room is the right size.
Yep.
The big windows, a lot of light. It's so comfortable living in a new house compared to a really old one. It's so light here. Like my old house used to be so dark, and I was like, but the windows were like this big. But these windows are, you can see, well, that isn't even a particularly big one, but that's just like the windows are fucking huge. There's so much light.
Is that a window or a sliding door?
That's a window.
What?
The windows are that big. The windows in the living area are taller than me. And
Yeah.
the windows on the stairs are twice as tall again. They're like 4 meters high or something. It's
shit.
Pretty wild.
Have you got air conditioning?
Yeah, ducted aircon's fucking awesome too. Yeah, it's the best. I haven't paid a bill yet though.
Good luck.
Yeah. And the kids have it on their phone, so they can be like on the way from school.
Oh dear. You give them that power?
Yeah.
That's going to be your power bill, mate.
What are yours? What are your biggest mistake and biggest win?
So the thing that I like that I'm liking the most at the moment is getting the aircon installed because it's starting to get pretty warm now. And I've got aircon here in the office and all in the lounge room and in the both here in the other bedroom and that sort of thing, which is bloody awesome.
You can't fucking live without aircon.
No, and the ceiling here is tin, and I'm pretty sure it's 1980 insulation, so it's not particularly good. But it's good having it, which is great. And then the thing that I dislike, remember how I was really enamored by the fact that I got double ovens?
Yes.
Yeah, which is fucking great. I love having double ovens.
Yes.
I hate cleaning 2 ovens, though.
How often do you have to clean an oven?
Oh, I just cleaned my ovens last weekend. Obviously, I hadn't done it in a while and probably should have done it sooner. And like fucking 4 cans of fucking oven cleaner and a couple of hours of elbow grease, had my safety glasses on and my gloves and all that sort of shit and mask on, trying not to breathe, and then I blew up the bottom oven.
What do you mean?
Well, it's a fan-forced oven and I sprayed thing in the fan and then I turned the oven on later and it went whoop and it tripped out the thing and that's it.
Oh, no.
It's come back on, but I don't think I can turn the oven on.
What's come back on?
I reset the RCD and
I see.
And it was fine. And it comes back on, that shows the clock, but I don't think I can turn the oven on. So I think I need to pull it apart a bit and clean out where the fan is because I must have put too much spray down where the fan and the element is, where the element ends in there. So yeah, good on you, Hendo. It's great.
Well, that's shit. But with the 2 ovens set up, do you use one to just like warm up plates before you eat with them, that kind of thing? Or do you like things at once?
Oh, it depends on the job at hand. So if I'm doing grilling or if I'm doing, say, sitting around on a Friday, Saturday night, decide to cook myself some buffalo wings or something like that, I'll use the top oven. Yeah. And then if I'm doing a roast or some baking, it's a steam oven. I've never used the steam thing, but if I choose to do some baking where you need steam oven, that would be the big oven. They both get used.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I would use one to warm up plates. Yeah,
you can do that as well, I suppose. I don't know. The top oven's got a really good grill. The bottom one's really good for pizza.
Yeah, nice.
So the top one's actually a combi oven, so it's actually a microwave, but it's a really shit microwave.
Oh.
So I actually bought a cheap microwave from Kmart because it's a microwave, but you have to take all of the racking out because otherwise it zaps it and that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And so basically you have a microwave, but it doesn't have a turntable, right?
Right.
And so when you microwave something or you defrost something, it cooks it all in one place.
Yeah, that's stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not particularly good, but it's good at everything else, and that's good enough for me. I don't care.
I've also got an induction stove, which I was a bit umming and ahhing
fuck.
over.
They're so good.
It's good. Yeah, I'm
They're
happy.
so good.
Have you got one?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things in the house.
It is the best.
Is the induction stove. I'd never go back to a conventional convection stove.
Well, that was one. Like, I didn't make that many decisions about appliances in this house, but one of them was gas or induction, and I was kind of like, I hope I've made the right decision because I can appreciate gas too. Especially if I was like a real legit. I'm a pretty shitty cook, and I like numbers for things, so induction suits me. But I can understand why someone would prefer gas, and so I was kind of like,
I reckon induction shits all over gas. It's just as responsive as gas.
It's so fast.
It's fast, it's amazing. And it's what the best thing about induction stove is? So easy to clean. It's a piece of glass. You just clean it and it's fucking done. I love it.
It's not really hot. It's fucking
awesome. No, it's great. It's safe for the kids.
It heats up water faster than my kettle.
Yeah.
It's fucking fast.
Yeah, so good.
All right, we've just spent 20 minutes talking about kitchens. Can we get to the news? It's a beer podcast. Why not?
Yeah, what do you got?
All right. So you sent me this one. Red Hill Brewery is on the market.
Yes.
So my question to you to kick it off is, what's your favorite Red Hill Brewery memory?
I think my favourite Red Hill Brewery memory is actually having a beer with Dave from Red Hill like 3 weeks ago at the Caliber 10th birthday and didn't say a thing.
Oh, nice.
It was like the week before it got announced and he was just sitting there having a beer and all that sort of thing. And he was all zip.
Yeah, you gotta be like that, don't you?
Yeah, but other than that, Imperial Stout.
Yeah.
Always a cracker.
I think
it's Red Hill.
Yes, that was like.
I hope somebody buys it. Like he's going to sort of keep it kind of the way that it is and that sort of thing. I mean, wouldn't it be an absolute fucking tragedy if somebody bought Red Hill and then they just smashed out hazies week after week?
Yeah. Do you know the guys there well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Great bunch of people, hardworking, and this is hopefully it'll lead to a conclusion to their involvement in the Red Hill business. But as I've said before, whenever you see a brewery sell out, no one's getting upset at the moment about Red Hill wanting to sell out and being open and public about it and that sort of thing.
Right.
But the thing is that
the selling and selling out, I think that selling out that implies selling to the majors, I think, doesn't it?
It's all the same outcome, really, isn't it?
No, not really. I think there's a bit of.
But the thing is, right, is, and I've said this loads of times before, right, is that when you start a business, doesn't matter if it's a brewing business or whatever, let's just say brewing business, right? You start the business and there are only a very limited number of ways in which that can end. 100%. Either the business goes broke, you sell it, or you die.
That's a bit harsh because there are some outlier options in there.
Go on. Please enlighten me as to one that's not one of those three.
Well, you can hand it down over generations. So you personally die, but the business doesn't. So Cooper's would be an example.
Yeah, but that's in effect a sale.
No, I don't think so. That's not a sale. That's
Okay. So you're planning on passing on your share of Black Ops to the boys?
oh, I mean that would be an ultimate dream, but that's an outlier, isn't it? Like how many people get to do that? Not many.
Mm.
Not many.
Can you imagine your kids in charge of the brewery?
Well, I mean, I think it's extremely unlikely, but I think it would be an epic achievement, wouldn't it?
Oh, I suppose so. Keep it in the family and all that sort of stuff. But I kind of
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen to me personally, but I think it's an
No.
outcome that people could have. If you're running a profitable
Yes.
business, like something like a profitable business for a long period of time, that's a potential outcome.
Yeah.
And
you've done the work to protect it from being sold to a major and all that sort of stuff, as Coopers have done.
And
sure.
Listing on the ASX is not quite the same as selling because you can still retain shares.
Sure, but eventually you're going to sell or die.
Well, you might personally die, but the business is bigger than one person.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about one's personal relationship with the business.
Yes.
All right. And I still think there's only three outcomes, which is you sell it, it goes broke, or you die. That's your exit strategy.
Right, but you can't approach life in that your only options are, you die or you don't die. Like that's everything in life.
Yeah. That's right. I'm not trying to be morbid about it. Just trying to be a realist about it,
Yeah. I'm not hating on the idea of selling.
So when people get like really upset about, breweries, selling and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, well, they picked the one where you didn't die. That's a win.
I agree. I've no problem.
But take your money, enjoy the rest of your life, and then go and fucking die, and.
But to play devil's advocate, you use the word sell out, right?
Or just sell.
Yeah, but the word sell out implies, like if you, like I think the Stone and Wood thing that rubbed people the wrong way was for years and years and years, they talk about loving independence and only caring about independence and people sell out suck, and then they end up selling out. That's what people mean when they say sell out. It's not, there was zero negativity around the stomping ground sale because they didn't do anything that was different to what they've been saying the whole time. It was very consistent. It wasn't a sell out; it was a sale.
Yes, but my point is that is selling out. I appreciate the different things and stuff like that, but yeah,
and it shouldn't be ignored that it's a pretty fucking big achievement for what is it, 18 years? It's a fucking long time to have a business.
Fucking oath.
I went to a event once. Actually, I don't know if I've mentioned on here. I think I have mentioned on here again before, but it was a long time ago. It was probably 20. I don't know when. It was so long ago. But one of the keynote speakers was Donald Trump.
What?
It was in Sydney. One of the keynote speakers was Donald Trump. The other was Robert Kiyosaki, and the third one was Tony Robbins. And
jeez.
Tony Robbins, and there was only sort of like an hour per person, and they were just trying to sell your shit savagely. Trump was the only person who didn't try to sell anything. Everyone else just savagely sold you like an upsell to their next program.
Yeah.
But the Tony Robbins did a thing where he's like, stand up if you've been in business 1 year, stand up if you've been in business 2 years, 3 years, sit down. People would sit down as it goes on, and I can't remember how far he got, maybe 10, 15, 20 years. But by the time he got to sort of around 20 years, there's a stadium filled with 10,000 people. There's only a handful of people left. And these are people who are into business. It's people don't stay in business that long. It's way too hard. Effort.
Yeah, absolutely. What was he selling?
Fucking Power Within or whatever. The Reach Your Power Within or whatever.
His course, whatever it is.
The 3-day program.
Yeah, but that's the start. Then he upsells you on some other shit.
100%. They're making people dance and everything. I'm like, fuck, dude, stop making me dance. This is stupid.
Were you dancing?
I mean, not really. I don't really do that. And it was, but
were you just doing it because everyone else was doing it?
Like, because I'm kind of like, I don't even know how to.
100th monkey. You didn't want to be the fucking stickler going, fuck you, Tony Robbins.
Exactly. And my mate's like dancing. I'm like, dude, this is stupid. Like, fuck.
Anyway, did you buy the Power Within?
Definitely not. But I watched the doco on Netflix. Have you seen that?
Oh, no.
It's not new. It's about 5 years old. It was called I Am Not Your Guru, I think, which is a weird
Oh,
name.
yes. I don't think I've seen it though.
It's worth watching. It was well done because it wasn't just, good news stories about all the stuff that happens, because there was some bad shit in there that happened too. Because
Yeah, right.
he's a wild man.
He's got such straight teeth though.
Amazing teeth.
Like seriously, they're like veneers or some shit, I swear, eh?
Massive jaw.
That's like you can't have natural teeth like that.
Definitely not.
And you can't like teeth are pretty important, you know? Like if I'm swiping on like Tinder or something like that, I can't. If you got bad teeth, it's a fucking instant left
Wow.
swipe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So left is
No.
no. Okay.
Yeah. That's a dead set fucking because you got to kiss that. It's like no.
Oh, wow.
No.
This is not the way. This is
No.
not where I thought this episode was going to go. Okay. So you kiss the teeth, do you? How? You show me.
You put your fucking tongue in there eventually, and you just I can't bring myself to fucking go.
Oh,
No, that's
wow.
my tongue's not going there. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Like have a little bit of respect for some fucking self-hygiene and and that sort of thing.
Well, wait,
my teeth aren't the best. I don't want to be like, I'm not fucking Peter Caller, Caller the kettle black or anything like that. But let's not fucking brush twice a day and floss and go to the dentist twice a year and all that sort of shit.
So is it the hygiene, or is it the structure of, like, do you want these girls on your Tinder thing to have perfectly straight teeth, or just
absolutely not?
teeth?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't want perfectly straight teeth. I just don't want you to have fucking teeth missing and
Right.
all that sort of thing. And it fucking when you're my age, the chicks that you see on Tinder, fuck, there's a lot of missing teeth out there.
We've never talked about this sort of stuff. This is it's good. Good information. And
you learn something new about me every fucking episode.
Yeah. Can I say something in defense of people?
It's like there's two things I judge people about: is their fucking beer and their fucking teeth.
Okay. All right, that's good to know. Can I say something in defense of people with missing teeth?
Mm-hmm.
I had for a long time, my teeth were like out of whack for most of my life till I was like 30 or something. I never had braces when I was younger, and so if I'd like be a certain angle and smile, it looked like I had a missing teeth. Like they're that far apart.
Yes,
they're still a little bit apart.
Yes. Yep.
But they were far enough apart where it's like, one of my mates asked me once, is like, do you have a missing tooth? And I was like, never thought about it before. I just wasn't self-conscious about it. Then I just became really self-conscious about it. And after like 5 years or whatever, I end up getting braces. So I got Invisalign braces when I was like 30 years old.
Yeah, right.
And that's why they're reasonably straight now.
Yeah. So, you're doing good, mate.
So the girls with missing teeth, they might not have gotten like a bar fight or anything. It might just be they were just a bit wider and they need to be braced back in. They might be nervous about getting braces.
I get it. It's not just missing teeth. It's like brown teeth, the old snaggle tooth and all that sort of thing.
I'm not going to ask that question. All right. Okay. All right. Well, okay, let's get to the news, mate.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, it's good to be back. All right.
Is it my turn to ask a question now?
Yes.
All right. Big year in crowdsource funding this year. I'm going to ask a Dan question. Big year in crowdsource funding. Black Ops included in amongst it, and probably the biggest number of crowd funds, I would say, and probably the most money raised as well in 2022.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know how are the latest ones doing? There was that one that was in Geelong. There's Black Flag as well, which is finishing this week. I don't know if you have the ability to pull up the numbers on Birchall or something like that.
I've looked at that. I think it's 1.1 mil they're up to. They're doing quite well.
For Black Flag?
Yeah.
Great. What about that one that was in Geelong? Was it Geelong?
What was that one? I don't know what that one was.
Can't remember the name of that. Yeah, that was Geelong. They had a bar and everything.
Don't know.
It was on Birchall.
Is that the question? I don't know.
Well, I want you to go fucking look it up, or do I have to jump on Birchall and get the fucking Facebook retargeting and shit? I'm doing it incognito.
What's the bloody question here? Black Flag 1.227 million closes tomorrow.
They're sick.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
More brands. Here we go. There's some interesting, weird, wonderful shit on here. Oh, Valhalla?
That's the one.
Sheba. Well, Sheba's okay.
Sheba is in the female Uber.
Yeah, that's.
It's like doing another crowdfund.
I don't know. It's still on there. It says recently funded.
Mm.
When was that? That was no. That's just an old link. November, yeah, raised 422,000. 300 investors. I don't think they were after like that much more than that, were they?
Did they get their minimum?
Let's have a look. Yeah. Yeah, minimum 250. Yeah, 420 they raised. Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's good. So, has there been a brewery this year? What about Otway Brewing? That's on Birchall as well.
What was it again? Which one?
Otway Brewing. Otway Brewing Group.
Oh, that was the
Prickly Moses.
Prickly Moses, that's right. Yeah, I haven't actually been following these. I'll see if it's on here. I don't know how easy it is to bloody search Birchall.
Can't it just go breweries?
Oh, they've got a craft beer in one category. There you go.
Yeah.
There's nothing new on there. Was that on Birchall? No, that might have been on Equitize.
No, I'm pretty sure it's on Birchall.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Closed 8th of November.
Yeah.
I'm guessing I didn't follow this one, so I'm guessing it doesn't say how much was raised though. So I'm guessing that means they didn't hit their minimum.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you think that's what it means? I didn't.
Well, you've got the ability to log in and
I'm logged in there. I'm logged in there, but if it's closed, no, EOI. It just says EOI.
Okay, so maybe they didn't get past the EOI stage.
No, I think it probably just means they haven't launched yet. It's just an EOI. I don't know. You're putting me on the spot. I'm not fucking up with it. I thought you were going to actually ask me a question, but
yeah. Well, no, that was the question.
What was the question?
Okay, let me ask the question. Okay, well, what do you reckon 2023 is going to hold for crowdfunding, brewery crowdfunding in particular?
Yeah, well, I thought
have we maxed it out? You know,
I thought that before the Your Mates one. I thought it would be too much because there'd been so many. Because remember when we had the conversation before the Your Mates one, and you were like, "Oh, will they hit the maximum?" And I thought it was going to be, will they hit like 2 million? And you were like, "No, I think they'll hit 3.5," which they probably could have because they absolutely smashed it. I thought that it was going to die off because there's only so many people. Like the fans cross over different breweries. There's only so many breweries people are going to invest in, but they absolutely smashed it out of the park. So, I assume good brands that are loved by people are still going to do well with crowdfunding or any other type of investment.
Yeah.
Did you see the AFR Fast 100 list, which is really the list for fast growing companies in Australia?
Yes.
There was quite a few. Actually, I should have put that in our list of things to talk about, which I didn't. But there was quite a few crowdfunded breweries in there.
Right, such as?
Well, we were in there, but there was Fella. Do you know Fella? I'm not just breweries, but sort of drinks brands.
That's the seltzer, yeah.
They were number one. They were number one in that fast. They're like the
100
fast starters one. They're like the new companies one.
Yeah, right.
Which is insane.
That is insane.
Yeah. Let me have a look at who else is on here. Fast starters 2022.
Speaking of fast business
Sober,
things.
I think was Sober in there?
I don't know about that. Speaking of fast business things, while you're looking at it,
Yeah.
how cool is it fucking PK getting the Forbes 30 under 30?
Yeah, I saw that today too. That's very cool.
How sick is that?
Bloody boss.
He's a fucking man, eh?
Yeah. Sober were in it. What number was Sober in there? Actually, I didn't put this in as on. Here we go. Here's a link. There's a list on Virtual of the companies of crowdfunded virtual companies that are in that list. So these are not all. I'll send you this list. You scroll down to the bottom here. These are not all breweries, but there's a bunch of companies in there, which is pretty cool. But Sober's on there. I don't know what number they were. Black Ops is on there. Fella, I don't think is a virtual one.
Yeah.
That's another drinks company.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think it's cool.
So what about next year?
Surprised. Oh, the other one was the non-alcoholic drinks brand that was like really high up the AFR list. I didn't even heard of this brand because I don't really drink non-alcoholic drinks, but they were fucking super high up.
So many different bloody companies you can invest in on that platform, eh? Pretty interesting.
What do you think about the seltzer thing? Like, do you remember when that came out and everyone thought that was going to be a fad? Like these companies are doing pretty fucking well.
Oh, look, I think, but that's the long-term play. I don't know. I think seltzer's past its original peak.
Mm.
Because I think long-term is that seltzer's going to be like cider. It's going to be very peaky and come and go sort of thing. That's my prediction for it.
What about non-alc stuff? Because that was not like I think this non-alc beer that brand that was in there wasn't beer. It was like RTDs or something. I don't know. It was something.
Oh look, I think non-alc beers got some legs.
Yeah.
Non-alc spirits are fucking stupid.
Yeah. I think it was a non-alc. I'm going to bring up this list now.
If it's non-alc spirits, fuck off.
I'm pretty sure it was. Let me look it up.
Don't give me a non-alc spirit. Give me a fucking cup of Golden Circle fruit cup cordial. And I'm happy chappy.
Don't give me articles, you fucks. Give me the fucking actual list. The thing with these lists, if anyone's listening to this who wants to know how this works, like if you make one of these lists like months in advance, they send you an email and say, like, you've made the list. Do you want to buy all this advertising on the platform? Which looks like news.
Yeah, okay.
And so when the lists come out and there's all these news articles to do with the lists that are published by AFR, these were all bought by the company. So like Mighty Craft and whoever else have got all these stories from AFL, like you pay a lot. You actually pay, I think, something like $5,000 just for the seal, just for that logo.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah. Which we didn't pay for anything this year, but if you see all the articles do it, that's how it works. They really milk it. So if you go on this list thing, you don't even see the list. You just see all these articles that people have paid for.
Yeah. Fuck. Look, what are you going to do? It's all about PR, really, isn't it?
Definitely. I want to fucking find this company. Here we go. I literally can't even find the fucking list on AFR website.
Good. Oh, I thought you were looking on virtual because I can't find shit on there.
No, I'm on the AFR website, and it's like,
can you just Google what you're looking for, and then you go site:afr.com.au.
Well, you have to be logged. Probably, I'm guessing probably not only because you need to be logged in to access AFR, but possibly. Anyway, I give up. Anyway, it was some non-alcoholic drinks company, which I thought was interesting, which we didn't put on the ticket, which is why I haven't done any research on it.
Yeah, fair enough.
How about this one? Peter Lal. I don't know how to say this name. You know this guy,
Lalo.
right? Lalo?
No.
He must put out a list of Australia's best beers.
Beers every year, yeah.
Because I did see this pop up, and there's an article on the Australian, which you can access, which is nice.
Yes, that's great. Not one of the few articles not behind a paywall.
Yeah, and it's Australia's...
What a time to be alive. While Victoria may have more breweries, a place in Sydney is concentration surely makes the craft brewing capital of the world. fair enough.
That's not a bad article because there are a few interesting stats in here. But
It's not Lalor, it's Peter Lalor.
Lalor. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
My question for you is, how many of these beers have you tried?
Let's see. Badlands Breweries English Pale Ale? Nope. Bright Breweries Razor Wit Beer? Yes, very good. Very, very good beer. Good wit beer. We don't drink enough wit beer. Hawker's Stout. I don't like the guy who owns that company.
I don't either.
There's Cooper's Original Pale Ale in a tin. Absolutely.
Remember when we caught up with Pulkit and with the topic of Mazen came up and I was like, oh yeah, fuck that guy. And then Pulkit's like, oh, do you guys not like him or something? You guys got beef? And I was like, no, we're just joking.
One of my favorite memories of 2022 is going to be Mazen absolutely shitting himself in the back of a tuk-tuk in Bangkok at fucking 2:00 in the morning as this tuk-tuk was just fucking gunning it through the street. I was having a ball because I love my motorbike and that sort of thing. I was like, yeah, go fucking faster. And Mazen's like, we're going to die.
Yeah, I could have. That would have been fun. I would love to see that.
So good. You got to come next year. We're in Ho Chi Minh. I don't know if they got tuk-tuks in Ho Chi Minh City. But
a lot of bikes and scooters. A lot.
Yeah,
a lot more than Bangkok. I'll come.
Sick.
I'll come. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Excellent. Wildflowers Wild Ale. I've had a couple of Wildflower beers, but not that one in particular.
Yeah.
Batch's Red Robust Brown Ale. Yes, I have. I've had that one at the brewery.
So we're at three so far.
Yeah, 3. Dangerous Ales, Uncle Damo's Oaths. Absolutely not.
How cool does that one look? That's fun.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Bracket Brewing 6 a.m. No, I haven't anything from Bracket Brewing. So Lame Brews Classic Dark Haze. Nope. Gage Road's Cheeky Pash. I'm going to say if you're going to drink a Western Australian passion fruit beer, drink the Rocky Ridge Passion Fruit Imperial Sour.
That's fair.
Cool.
And can I add to that? If you're going to drink a cheeky pash, then make sure it's got good teeth.
Before you go in for the cheeky pash, check the teeth.
Check the teeth.
What do we got here? One Drops We Drab It Jamming. Is that's the brewery that we had at Gabs in Melbourne last year, wasn't it? Well, we got the chili
one.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't drink a lot of their beers. I just want a beer that tastes like beer.
Yeah, that one's definitely not going to taste like beer. Sounds pretty yum though. Mango, guava, banana, vanilla, double fruited smoothie sour. Bring it on.
Is there any kitchen sink in that? It sounds like there's kitchen sink in it.
Yeah, it's got everything. Everything you need.
Bent Spoke Brewing's Cluster 8. If you haven't had that, it's very un-Australian. It's such a good beer.
You just came up with a good name for their Bent Spoke Grudzitsky.
What's that?
Bent Smoke.
Bent Smoke.
Done.
Oh, I should have it. I've got a Grods in the fridge. I might have that next actually because we need to check the shelf life of it.
Oh, you got another one?
I've got one in the fridge.
Nice.
Co-conspirators Brewing Co. Hype. I love Co-conspirators beers are excellent. And if you get the chance to try them, do try them.
Yes, I was
but I don't know what this one is. It's probably just another hazy, so get in there. Mountain Culture and Deeds Brewing Southern Fried. Nope, haven't had that. Sailor's Grave Brewing Down She Goes. No, I have not had that one. Eckham Brewing Co.'s Bloodshot Red IPA. Had lots of Eckham beers. I don't think I've had the Bloodshot Red IPA. Although they still mention, they say Eckham Mike.
Eckham Mike, yeah.
He hasn't owned the brewery in like 2.5 years, 3 years.
I know, I saw him not long ago. Probably maybe a year ago. He came down. He
lives up here now. So
still cruising around that RX-7. It's sick.
Yeah, it's a fucking sick car.
Where's he working now? Is he still in the industry?
No.
That's
no. I think he delivers wine in a van.
All right. Wine's good. I like wine.
Yeah. Heaps Normal Quiet XPA. Yeah, I've had that. Sober Wattle Seed Gold. Is that one of the ones that Coop sent us? We did send us a Wattle Seed beer.
One of the early ones.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had that one. How much score going?
What are you up to? Like 6 maybe?
Yeah. Beer Fontaine's draft. I've never heard of Beer Fontaine.
Oh, you know
Posh.
what this beer would be good for?
What?
One of those memes that's like when the F1 season finishes and every time you look at something, it reminds you of F1.
How so?
That's the halo right there from the driver's seat.
Oh, it is too. Ah. I was thinking it was like the front view of a double plugger.
Oh, yeah, that's oh, yeah, true.
Same thing. I'll never look at a Formula One car the same again.
Yeah.
Anyway, Willie the Boatman's Elbow. Yes, I have had that. That's a very good beer. Good bunch of people as well. Oh, that's it.
That's it.
7.
So that was what was it, like 7 out of
20.
20. That's not bad. I was going to, until you brought up that sober one, which I'd forgotten about. I thought I'd only had one of these, and it was Cooper's Pale.
But you got to broaden your horizons and drink beer other than your own.
That's true, but they're all very Sydney and Melbourne beers, isn't it? I guess sober's in there, but yeah.
Well, that's where Peter Layla is Sydney based, I think. So
that's totally fair. But for me to drink them, if I would only really want to drink them if they're super fresh, and so you need to be onto it.
You got to seek these things out.
That's fair. You need to be onto it, don't you? I've had some of the wildflower ones, but I don't know if I've had that specific one, possibly.
Yeah, there you go.
Good list. Are you happy with the list? You think it's a reasonable list?
I think it's one person's opinion of what a top 20 beers should be.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty reasonable. Obviously, I haven't tried a lot of the beers, nor have I heard of a few of the breweries and that sort of thing. So if you're from one of those breweries I've never heard of, sponsor us with beer. Send us some beer.
That's a
reach
call
out.
to action.
Go to bostonthebrewer.com and if I can reach out to Dan and say, hey Dan, we'd love to send you and Hendo some beer, and Dan would be like, fuck yeah,
definitely.
You can sponsor the show,
because our ultimate goal is to become beer influencers. That'd be awesome.
How are we doing so far?
Shithouse. Actually, I haven't checked the email in a while. Let me check it right now. I'll check it live right now. Could you imagine if there's like 50 emails about all the beers?
For sponsored beers, I'm gonna be like, don't fucking hold out on me, Mr. Norris.
Okay, MailChimp email saying total audience 35, up 1 from 9 days ago.
One more and we get 36. That's
Google account storage is almost full. You have to upgrade to pay. We're not paying, and that's it.
Wait, don't you get 15 gigs for free?
Yeah, we're up to 15. Well, I was putting the files up there, and now they're massive. So now I'm just keeping them on my computer. But yeah.
Oh, it's full of like podcast files, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, if we get if my computer dies, then we're losing a bit of content. But we've got the actual files up on the website.
Yeah. Good.
So I'll say here that, because I can see your next question that you're gonna ask me.
Yes.
We should tell people we're trying to do a new format here, right? So we're doing.
Oh, should I not have written it in there? Because you can see it.
I can see it.
Should I not have written it in there so you can't see it?
Well, no. So I said to you just before we did this episode, we should do the news, but we should do it in a new format where we like tee the person up with a question. Right?
Yes.
But what you've done is put questions in there that don't relate to the news.
Well, that's what's on my mind.
That's fine. That's fine.
It is news in my mind.
Okay.
It's important to me.
Well, ask your fucking question then. It's just different to what we talked about. I thought I'd take people behind the curtain.
I'm not very good at, following those types of instructions, to the letter.
All right. Well, for future reference.
Okay.
Let's try and aim to do that.
Okay, then.
Just so we've got, a few news stories that we want to say something on, as opposed to just like 50 news stories.
Sure.
And then outside of that, we'll put a thing in the group, and if people want to ask questions about anyone, they can ask them.
Well, this question I want to ask you is not really related to any news item, and I think we're making news here.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. So here's been my experience of the last couple of weeks. I've been speaking to probably 3 or 4 different regional breweries, right?
Yeah.
So not in any capital city or major, city area and that sort of thing. And they have positions available, and it might be just floor workers or a head brewer or something like that. And without naming any of those breweries and that sort of thing, like they are having some real trouble luring people to come and work for them.
Yeah.
One brewery in particular offered a ridiculous sum of money for a head brewer.
Right.
That would almost have me going,
yeah,
that's not a bad idea. And still can't find someone.
Yeah.
It's shit out there, right? If you're a brewery and trying to hire, are you having those sorts of problems at the moment yourself? And there's bit tight labour market. What do you think needs to be done to resolve it?
Yeah, it's super, super tough. I think our position's a bit. We're pretty fortunate. We've got a very strong brand. We're pretty good at finding people who want to work for us. I couldn't imagine being a regional brewery that's trying to make money, trying to make good beer, trying to find someone to come and work. It's a tough job too, brewing, if you can only find one. Like Charlie's fucking working his ass off down where he is, I can tell you that. And that's, if you're at a brewery by yourself, I don't need to tell you this, you're working your fucking ass off. What can be done about it? My honest answer is the economy crashes. That's
really,
yeah. I think. Well, if you look at what's happening in America,
as in the industry or the broader economy.
Well, what I've noticed from what's happening in America is startups would do anything to attract people, and they would use any means to get them outside of just wages. So things like equity, and you've seen brewers do things like, employee share schemes, anything to retain people. But it was getting to the point. It's getting to the point now where people are talking about, okay, why can't we work 4 days a week and get paid for 5? And the entitlements that were happening at some of these American startups were just getting out of control. Like remote work, people are working 2 or 3 jobs, getting paid, 100, 200, 300 grand a year. And this is being resolved now in America because all these companies are crashing and they're paying off people. And our economy has been very, very good for a very, very long time. And if it stays very, very good, then companies will be able to afford to pay people a lot of money. If it doesn't, then it's going to be back, in a state where it's hard to get a job. And you can't ask for working 4 days a week, or you can't try and remote work and do 2 jobs at the same time. It's an employee's market at the moment, but that will change if the economy doesn't do well. That's what's happening in the rest of the world.
No sign of that happening though, with the just keeping it focused on the brewing industry.
You don't think so?
No, not with so much demand for for talent.
Yeah, I think there are signs. I think companies are selling. There's, companies are struggling. I think there are signs that it might not be great forever. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you look to actually give a business advice, what would the advice be? Give some equity for key staff, pay over for really, really key staff, try to build a good brand that attracts people, treat people well. That's keep people safe. They're the things. That's all you can do, really. But yeah, there's a downside.
Yeah.
You start paying people too much, and you're going to run out of money.
No, that's right. Exactly. Or it drives up the cost of your product and you're not competitive and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it's interesting, just speaking to a few breweries over the last few days and people asking themselves whether they're paying the market rate and And if they're not, then, you know, do you just randomly throw your existing staff more money, or do you hire someone, you're paying more, whilst the other people are getting paid less? It's pretty fucked up.
You know what makes it way, way harder, and I know I probably say this too often, but like when these companies sell, and I won't use the word sell out because, like you, I don't have any problem with companies selling.
Sure.
But, you know, there is a reason why all these small independent breweries came up, was because the majors had a stranglehold over the industry. And now you've got the majors owning these companies, making good beer, attracting good staff, having good culture,
and paying them well,
content, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of good marketing, a lot of good perks, share schemes, all of that stuff. Fucking hard to compete with that. It's going to be real hard.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think it's the sort of next phase of the majors versus the independents is the battle for talent.
Yep.
And it's a global phenomenon for brewing staff at the moment. It's just, there's just no fucking people, you know. Crazy stuff.
And given that a big chunk of breweries' money is hospo is tough, man.
Hospo's fucked as well, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you know, places, Goldie's probably the same as the Sunshine Coast and that sort of thing. But you try and hire hospo staff, they can't even afford to fucking rent near where they work.
100%. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. No, it's really tough. I've seen, I saw just during the week, Night Quarter closed down. I mean, it's just one company, but
really,
yeah, like that seems to be the amazing brand, very well known. And they just basically said, like, hospo's fucked. It's impossible people aren't going out as much. It's hard to find people. We're just not making money anymore. We've sold our house. We've fucking got none left. It's tough.
Yeah.
Super tough.
You see that people not going out much anymore. Like, sort of anecdotally speaking, there's been a few sort of major live concerts on over the last couple of weeks. Guns N' Roses have played.
You know what?
Gigs.
I had tickets to that.
Did you not go?
I didn't go.
Why not?
Because I was on holidays and we fucked up the date.
Oh, well, that's right. Yeah, fuck.
So we bought tickets to it stupidly like a few weeks before, and then didn't realize we were away that weekend. So we actually gave them away.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. A lot of these gigs, they're selling tickets like up to the day of the gig. They're not sold out.
No, exactly. I saw a couple of people, friends on Facebook. I think Craig Maiden was in there. He went to the Killers last night over at the entertainment centre. Place looked fucking empty.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Guns N' Roses, there's $260 tickets. They were selling for $70 on the day.
Yeah, we really fucked up real bad. I won't tell you how much we paid for ours.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, we learned an important lesson that night. Anyway,
I went to Guns N' Roses. I've seen them live before. When they were last in Australia, they played at Eastern Creek Raceway in Sydney.
Oh, nice.
And my father owned a bus company on the Gold Coast, right? And so he had a whole bunch of people that wouldn't come to Queensland. They couldn't come to Queensland because the cops ran them out. The Queensland cops ran them out of the state when they came over for the Lies tour or something like that, or Appetite Destruction tour, I think it was. And
cops ran them out of the state.
Yeah, because it was all corrupt back then. It was the late 80s, man.
Oh, this is like the
Fitzgerald inquiry fucking thing.
Yeah.
And so probably because I'm doing a lot of coke as well. But anyway,
right.
And so they got ran out of the state, so they wouldn't come to Queensland. So if you wanted to see Guns N' Roses, you had to go to Sydney. And my father ran a bus company, and we got a bus from the coach station at the Bruce Bishop car park there in fucking Surfers Paradise. 14 hours straight to Eastern Creek. Concert, Guns N' Roses. Guns N' Roses 4 hours late coming on stage.
Oh, what?
Yeah, fucking oath, man.
They're just coke to the gills.
No, they're just sitting in the hotel. They flew in their bloody helicopter. You see the helicopter fly over. It was a great gig. I had a great time. Like, there was like, who was really good? What's his fucking name? Sebastian Bach. What was his band name? Skid Row. Skid Row. They're fucking great. He's such a great entertainer. Rose Tattoo were playing. That's before bloody Angry Anderson.
Wait, was this like a festival?
No, it was just Guns N' Roses, all the support.
Wow, that's not a bad line.
Really good. That was a great lineup. And Yeah, and then Guns N' Roses were really good, and then straight on the bus and 13 hours back. No shower or anything like that. It's pretty smelly by the time I got back. And yeah, it was pretty hardcore.
That is
But it was an excellent concert. And at the time, it was the biggest concert ever held in Australia. It was 105,000 people.
Whoa.
At Eastern Creek.
That's cool.
Very good. Very, very cool.
They're a hell of a band.
Mm.
I was going to say I have been to a couple of gigs this year, and because I think probably something to do with the just not being chaotic, it's been very pleasant. Just like less people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, going to a gig.
It's been great.
Sure.
Yeah. Good for the consumer.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that good for the business owner. But
no.
All right. So last one, the IBA board has been announced, and ex Batby alumni, Ev Craney,
is on the board.
He's on the board.
What a legend.
What a legend. Do you think it was because no, that's my question this is the first question, but do you think
what do you reckon?
Was
it a bit of a setup?
Now, I've got another question, but my first question is he on there because of his appearance on the Boss and the Brewer podcast, do you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm pretty sure that's on the application form.
Nice.
Imagine if we applied for the board of the IBA. No one would vote for us.
I fully respect the people that do that, and I think it's awesome that they do it. It's a selfless act.
Very, very much so.
Yeah, I only work on things where I think I can be really good at, and that's not my scene. That community stuff is not my scene. But I think that's awesome that he's on there. And we voted for him. He got the Black Ops vote.
Yeah, good.
Because breweries members vote for these things.
So they're going to do a review. I read, which I think is probably going to lead to a change of the constitution. And all the process that goes along with that. I think sounds to me like what's going to be up for review is the definition of what is an independent brewer.
Well, that'd be interesting. I'm grabbing my popcorn right now. Go on. No, it's not.
Stomach cooler. I think that we need to have the conversation about the definition of what is an independent brewer.
Do you think because it's only called the Independent Brewing Association because they changed it from the Craft Beer Association to make it the Independent Beer Association?
No, they changed the constitution at the same time.
No, I know, but it's. I guess my question is, we can change, the definition of what is independent, but should it be bigger than that and change? Is independence the thing that we should be standing around?
I agree. Maybe that's the question that needs to be happening. But don't forget, the old CBIA used to have James Squire and fucking some other craft breweries that were owned by the majors. They got booted when the constitution was changed and voted upon by the members.
See, the only reason I remember this is because when Black Ops was first starting, we had a homebrew in my office at a co-working space, and totally randomly, the CBIA had a meeting that night because Peter Ellis from Burley Brewing was the chair at the time, I think.
Yes.
And they had a meeting in our co-working space at the time that me and Lukey from Currumbin Valley were doing homebrew. And we came out and we fed them all our beers.
Yeah,
and Chuck Hahn was there, and Brendan Barris was there, Peter was there. And that was when it was CBIA, and then shortly after they changed it to independent.
Correct. Yeah. And there were members of the CBIA who were booted because they were not considered to be independent according to the Constitution. But on the flip side, there was lots of breweries who wouldn't join the CBIA because there used to be the real Craft Brewers Association. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Where there were certain breweries that wouldn't join. They said, we can't join this. I refuse to join it because there are breweries who are owned by the majors and they're acting against our interests. And the conversation was had, and the membership at the time voted on it, and they voted to kick the
who votes on that? All the breweries.
Or every member. It was in the old constitution of the CBIA. If you go to change the constitution of a membership organisation, it has to go to an extraordinary general meeting or something like that, right?
So how does that work? Were you involved in that at the time?
I voted.
Did you? So how's it work? You get an email and say these are the major changes. Read it.
No, it was part of Thinkers fucking Sydney Craft Beer Week in 2013 or 14 or something like that, and they happened to have a CBIA the annual general meeting there, and we voted on it. And we voted to basically boot out, we had Chuck Hahn on the bloody, the technical committee and all that sort of stuff. We voted right to his face to boot him out of the CBIA and change the name to the Independent Brewers Association. That's what happened. And so I think, and the IBA lost a lot in that change, because those larger breweries that were owned by the majors paid a fortune in membership fees because of their size. They were funding the organisation, but there were some flaws in the constitution because they were paying a lot. I think their vote was being weighed more and that sort of thing. So they really, you had the majors kind of guiding the direction of the craft brewers and stuff like that. And they were encroaching on a whole bunch of different other spaces, as they usually do, in the craft beer space. And so, they got booted, and so it became the IBA. And one of the key things around that was the definition of what is an independent brewer, which is you can't be more than 22% owned by. It's a bit recursive, by someone who's not considered to be an independent brewer.
Oh no, it's by someone who's doing a certain volume, I think, isn't it?
Well, volume is in that as well, and I think that shouldn't be.
No. I think it's if you can't be a certain percent owned by someone who's doing.
It's over a certain volume. Yeah, you can't do over a certain volume, and you can't be owned by someone who's doing over a certain volume. So
can I ask a question on that? Do you know what was happening in America at the time, or in other places? Like, was this a trend that was happening in other places, or was this just only an Aussie-only thing?
No, it was happening elsewhere and that sort of thing. And
but the America have the Craft Beer Association, or the Brewers Association, don't they? That's not.
Yeah, I've got the Constitution here.
All right.
A person is eligible to become a member of one of the following classes: a full member association. Oh, that's all right. Let me find the eligibility. Membership classes. Ceases being a member. There will be something that sort of says eligibility requirements. Yeah, here we go. Membership. Full member, associate member, individual member. Membership classes. There'll be a thing in here where. There we go. Here we go. Contract beer sales not more than 40. Yeah, sorry. I thought you got that.
I can't edit this shit out.
I thought you got that computer thing that cuts all that shit out.
Only if you're perfectly silent. If you're chatting through the whole thing, it's like
40 million litres per year is the upper volume limit.
Wait, say that again.
40 million litres per year.
Right, but what's the requirement of being owned by a parent company that's... Oh, it's just 40 million?
Yeah. Oh, there's other things as well.
Fucking hell. That was the most horrendous
I've literally just pulled up the fucking Constitution, and you're asking me to digest it on the fly.
I didn't ask you to do any of this.
And then wondering why there's some fucking radio silence. Oh, man, I'm good. I'm not that fucking good.
I didn't ask for any of this shit, Hendo. I tried to streamline this thing with a few questions. For fuck's sake.
Just give me a Dorothy Dix, for fuck's sake.
All right, my question is,
Okay.
if you could change one thing about the IBA and the definition or the constitution, what would that be?
Oh, geez, a lot of things that I would consider changing. I won't say that it should be changed, but I think it should be discussed. Is removal of the 40 million litre per year limit.
But when you say discussed, it's every brewery votes on this who's a member, right?
Yes, I think the conversation needs to be had, and that basically what I'm basically saying is that implies should Coopers be a member of the IBA?
Well, that's yeah.
All right. If you take that 40 million litres per year out and leave all the other stuff about ownership and that sort of thing in, then or change that volume number, it opens up the conversation as to should Coopers be allowed to become a member of the IBA? There are pros and cons to that. You know, there's lots of people out there that really dislike Coopers because of the bloody religious stuff and that sort of thing.
Oh, come on. That's got nothing to do with a membership of a beer.
And in a lot of respects, I agree. But then you've got to think about what does the association stand for as well. And no.
But you can't set a volume limit and say we're going to cap it right below you because we don't agree with your stance.
But that's not what I'm saying.
Oh, it sounds like it is.
No, not at all. I think the conversation needs to be directly had as to whether Coopers should be in the IBA or not.
Do you actually think that's not what's happening, is it? They're excluded from it because of that?
They're excluded because they're too big.
Right, but
they meet every other requirement about being independent.
No, but you're not saying they're excluded because you're not saying they wouldn't increase that for that reason.
That's the thing that I think should be up for discussion.
No. What I'm saying is you don't think they wouldn't discuss that because they don't want them in there because of the opinions on religion.
Oh, but no, I agree. They're separate things. But what I'm saying is if the conversation was had now, there would be members in the IBA who would say, I don't think we should let Coopers in because of their religious views and all that sort of stuff, right?
But don't you then just have to have another thing that says you can't come into the association if you... That religion thing is super tricky and super messy.
No. But that's
cap the volume for one company.
That's what it is at the moment. It's exactly the reason why it's $40 billion, so as to not let Coopers in.
Why?
Don't know. But that is the reason why that number exists, is to not let Coopers in.
That's insane.
It's the only line in the Constitution that would prevent Coopers from joining.
You know what would be the boss move from Coopers? Would be like a Donald Trump on Twitter, where it's like he finally gets let back on, and they finally invite, and this would definitely happen, I think.
Yeah, and they don't join.
And they just don't join. That's what would happen. Why the fuck would they join?
Yeah.
They wouldn't join. It would cost them a fortune. They'd get nothing out of it.
Yeah.
And it would probably, to be honest, if they did that and they didn't join, there'd probably be other breweries sitting around thinking, you know what, we're doing okay too. If Coopers don't need to be in it, why are we paying all this money to be in it?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's and so it's a really interesting thing, and so the IBA suffered a lot over COVID and that sort of thing. And there's so much more that they could do in terms of it's very heavily weighted towards government lobbying and that sort of thing at the moment. Yeah. And if you want to lobby the government, you need money. And so the other thing the IBA does is events, the Indies, BrewCon, Good Beer Week. All those sorts of things, are important revenue generators for the IBA.
None of which happened this year, though, right? Like those actual.
Well, the Indies happened.
Well, not really. It was like a remote event.
It happened.
Yeah.
No, the judging happened. They make money from people paying $200 for a beer to get judged, mate.
Right, but that's not the event. That's the award.
Yeah, but you're confusing the award ceremony with the actual judging, which is the money making part.
You said event. Yeah, okay, fine.
It's an event.
Okay,
it has to be organised. And so no BrewCon this year, so therefore they didn't have that revenue generator.
No good beer either.
Well, this is the thing, right? So have a look around Australia, right? And this is the thing where I think the IBA could, if it was worthwhile sort of doing, to actually take craft beer to the masses, which is one of the things that the IBA needs to do, is to directly sell to the consumers, to say, here's what independent beer is all about. Go fucking buy it, right? And Good Beer Week's a really good tool to do that. Now, Good Beer Week is strictly a Melbourne thing. You think about all the beer weeks around Australia that used to exist.
Yeah.
Sydney Craft Beer Week, Brews Vegas. They don't fucking exist anymore. So why can't we have Good Beer Week in every fucking capital city around the country? It's a great brand. They got all the systems in place.
I can tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Why?
Right now.
Why?
Because people like you and me sit here and judge these associations that are run, for the most part by volunteers, and it's fucking hard work. And to sign up for something for a year is not something that anyone wants to do. So it's easy to sit back and judge it, but it's very, very hard to run events, mostly run by volunteers, and it requires a lot of awesome people, and it's super tough to do.
Mate, I pay my annual membership and I sit on the committee and that sort of thing. And, and I wish that I could do more, because I don't think I do enough for the IBA. And, like any member, I've got an opinion and entitled to it. And
that's fair.
And that's the kind of thing, that in my opinion needs to happen.
All right.
But in order to do those really awesome things, it needs to generate revenue, right?
Do you think those events really generate revenue? Like the
Bloody
awards,
oath.
the awards and BrewCon, yes, but the Good Beer Week thing was an acquisition. It was like they kind of just took over that. That was kind of weird how that happened. Like, I don't think did they actually even run one? They might have run one before COVID.
2018. I think they ran it.
No, the IBA didn't own it back then. I think they bought it when Jamie Cook was the president, didn't they? I don't think. I don't know. I'm not in that circle, but I don't think there's much precedent for that event running at a solid profit. I don't know anything about Good Beer Week, but I assume it doesn't make a lot of money, right? It got bought out by the non-profit association.
Sure.
So
there's not
BrewCon awards and BrewCon, fine.
Yes,
but if you assume that Good Beer Week, the biggest beer association in the country, couldn't survive and had to be taken over by a not-for-profit, there's not a lot of evidence to me to suggest that taking that nationally would be a profitable thing to do.
Unless you created perhaps a beer festival around it, a travelling beer festival. Probably should have bought Gabs instead of Good Beer Week. Maybe. Yeah. I'd love to know how much those things, like, do you think that makes a lot of money? Like, that'd be such a hard thing to put on a festival like that. Yeah.
I can't even
imagine. Shit, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No one makes money out of beer festivals.
So they're not, yeah. So I don't know.
Are you confused?
No, I'm playing devil's advocate. I don't think doing a national.
I think that there's I think there's a lot that can be done, but at the same time, I think that it takes money to do those things, and I think that the IBA should be given the ability to go generate that revenue in order to achieve those outcomes that all the members want.
That's fair.
Because I've spoken to people out there going, all the IBA does is events. Well, they need the events, this shit doesn't happen for free. You can't lobby the government for free. You can't pay, the CEO, for free, and it's
membership is not cheap though. Like I think like you're saying all of those things. I'm sort of thinking, sitting here as a member paying a lot of money, like what about the value you're giving to members? Like what can be done there? And maybe there can be something in that sphere as well, like that.
Well, I think the last 3 years though has been very valuable to members in terms of just simply the raising of the excise refund scheme to $350,000 a year that we've now all got.
Do you think the IBA had a lot to do with that?
Fucking oath.
Yeah.
100%. Right. So anytime I hear how else would it have happened? You know?
Yeah.
Anytime I hear someone say, "Oh, the IBA don't do anything," it's like, bitch, you got $350,000 a year in your pocket now. Just sit down, you know?
It's not that simple. It's not that simple. Though.
It's not, I get it. It's not that simple, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, without the right people getting in the ear of the right politicians at the right time and all that sort of stuff.
But we were having conversations with, there's conversations that happen with politicians that aren't through the IBA. I don't know exactly who influences who, but there's definitely conversations.
That's why we're in the beer business and not the political lobbying business, mate. So, but I, in my opinion, I think the IBA had a big part to do with that, and good on them for doing that. You know. Do
you think there's a chance, like the actual Brewers Association run by the big multinationals, will like, you know what, give them a couple of $100,000 a year. It's not going to affect us at all. It'll keep them happy for a while.
Well, that's what it was like when they were members.
Yeah,
they were paying massive, they were paying massive membership fees and providing a lot of technical assistance that we don't have anymore as the IBA.
Mm. But I'm saying, from being a little bit cynical, do you think it could have just been them lobbying the government, saying give these small little indie brewers a little bit here?
Well, no, because it didn't. No, it's not like that at all.
You don't think so?
No, because those big companies are only in it for themselves.
But it's a win for them. It's a win for them.
$350,000 is fucking fuck all for them.
That's the point. That's the point. Give the indie brewers $350,000. Doesn't affect them, but it shuts us up for a while.
Yeah, but $350,000 a year also encourages. It gives an economic incentive for people to go and build more breweries and eat into their market share.
Well, small ones that don't eat in much.
It's death by 1,000 cuts. There's no way they'd go for that. They want their market share, and that they'll buy it if they have to, and that's what they do.
If I was them, I feel like that would be a good move. There's so much noise and anger. Remember how angry people were about cap contracts a few years ago?
Yeah.
Remember all that whole ACCC thing? It's like fucking big companies. All that's going away. All the indie brewers are happy for a little while. They've given a little bit of money. So it's a sneaky move. It might have been.
Maybe.
These motherfuckers are smart. I don't know.
You're a big... They sure are.
All right. We've got
12 questions. What have we got?
Not many, which is good because we've been going for like a long time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Lou Cooper, I think you've nailed it, Dan. Some great topics. The only thing missing is the result of your respective field trips. Yes. Well,
we didn't do an episode last week after the field trip.
Oh, that's true. We didn't do your field
because
trip.
you were down south.
I was
ready to go, and I was ready to go, and I had a great field trip, and that was a lot of fun. Actually, went to Milstead, and Kat Howes, who's the TAFE Student of the Year, took us around, which was great, and saw Mark and Marcus and Danny as well, which is great. And then we went over to see the crew over at Milton Common, which was great. I haven't been there in a while, which is awesome.
Nice.
Jimmy from Milton Commons opened a bottle shop in my neighbourhood.
I saw that. That's cool as fuck.
It's fucking sick.
That guy's awesome.
My neighbours who were like just all like tradies and shit like that, like house share. And I went for a motorbike ride last Saturday, and came back and had all my gear on. I was walking back upstairs to get out of my gear and have a shower and stuff. And they walked back with a 6-pack of Young Henry's Natty Lager under their thing. It's like,
Nice.
"G'day, Hendo, how are you?" I was I turned up up into my street, and I saw some people in the bottle shop there staring at me. I was like, "Oh, that's a bit weird." Anyway, they walk up, going, "Hendo, you're pretty fucking famous in the beer world, aren't you?"
Yeah.
I'm like, not really. And they're like, "No,
Podcast listener?
that guy did no, just beer people, talking to beer people down at Jimmy's bottle shop. It's like, that guy down at the bottle shop says you're a fucking legend." I'm like, "Oh, really?"
Nice.
Wait till you
Love
get to
that.
know me.
Flattery
Anyway,
will
so
get you everywhere.
they had a natty lager, and I said, "Yeah, I'll have a beer." And so I fucking stood there for 20 minutes in my hot motorcycle gear, having a bloody natty lager. It was fucking delicious. And so that was good. And then we went down to Valley Hops, which is excellent. I don't know if you've been there.
I have not.
That's the rooftop one in the
Can you
valley.
give me 1 second? All right, I'm resuming. I haven't been to Valley Hops, so I paused the recording. Someone rocked up at my front door, and was like, "Here's your stuff," and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" And I've got these big windows so I can see them. And I was like, "What is happening?" It's fucking pitch black. And then Elon sprints up and is like sliding along the floor. He's right there. He's like, "What the fuck's going on?"
And knocks over the ironing board. Oh no, that's to stop him from getting in there.
That's to stop him coming here and humping my leg. And then I went out there, and it's not even for me; it's for the people next door. It's like an Uber Eats delivery. But anyway, to answer your question about Valley Hops, I walked past. It looks fucking awesome. Have not been there.
Yeah, go. It's good. Pizzas are excellent.
Nice. It's at the top of that massive nightclub.
Yeah, it's 5 floors up.
Amazing. On the roof.
10-hectare brew house. There's 17 tanks up there, I think.
Jesus.
Yeah, and so they're brewing 4 odd days a week. How do you reckon they're getting stuff up and down there?
One of the things that's in the horror movie where they have the thing, the lazy thing that goes up the fucking thing.
No, they've got a crane.
Oh, wow.
There's a crane that goes out, and that's how they get all their grain up, and then the spent grain goes back down. They've actually pulled up the bloody Sea Legs canning machine up there to can beer up there. It's fucking phenomenal.
It's a grain crane.
That is correct, Dan. It is a grain crane. Fucking peanut.
Something here.
So then after Valley Hops, in the TAFE pass, and if you do TAFE, you get to do what we call a finale beer. So you get to make, you get to learn how to make beer properly, and then you get to do a finale beer where you get to make whatever the fuck you want. And so this year, this semester, the full-time students did a watermelon and raspberry goes.
Nice.
And it was excellent. And I don't drink a lot of sours. It was excellent. So so the good people at Saccharomyces tapped it, and there you go. Yeah, fucking sick. And so and I think that's really awesome to see the TAFE students having their beer tapped at a bar they can go and drink. So if you are a venue in Brisbane, and you are able to take, I know the guys from that Phil and Dan from Hiker are going to take a few kegs, but we really need someone. We really need someone who can take cans. You will sell all the cases because basically all the students will buy them. We only do 15 or so at a time. And we're looking for outlets there. So if you are an outlet, just reach out to us through the Facebook group or email bostonbrewer@gmail or whatever the fuck it is.
Black Ops Brisbane. I don't want to take over your thing. We'll do another catch up. We had a crew there drinking grods.
Are you allowed to buy outside kegs and shit?
Yeah, got a bar license there.
Oh,
yeah. Slide into my DMs.
Okay. Can you sell takeaways of other breweries' beer?
It's a good question.
Not really.
Probably not, but probably.
If you've got one of those artisanal licenses, you can, as long as it's Queensland Brewery.
We do have the artisanal license. We've also got a bar license in Brisbane. Yeah, I might have to look into that specifically, but I think so. Yes, I think so.
Got to keep it legal. Got to keep it legal.
Yeah.
And tap some beer. It's good beer. It's fucking TAFE prices. It's cheap as shit.
Nice.
It's like we did this bloody 30-litre keg of goes, and it was like $150 or something like that. It was just dumb. Crazy. We just want to get the cost back for the raw materials. That's all.
This courses must be like the most practical tertiary course of all time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not of all time, but available to people now. Like this kind of level of practicality. I went to university a few different times for different courses, 3, and only finished one of them, but they got progressively less practical, and that's basically why I quit. I finished the first one. It was extremely unpractical.
Well, it's like it's the very thing we were talking about earlier. It's like, it's a fucking skills shortage happening. And if you fancy a career change and getting yourself in a career where you can start at the bottom and then within a couple of years be running your own brewery, I'm going to fucking learn how to brew.
100%.
With TAFE. It's fucking great. It's a lot of fun. The people who know me from TAFE and that sort of thing get to know my personality in the brewery and that sort of thing. And it starts off pretty strict, but only in the interest of, people becoming good at the craft. And, generally people get it by the end, which is good. So, and I had a great time with the students. I love my students. I think they're fucking great. Anyway, I had a great time and drank lots of beers at Saccharomyces, and it was all fired up to do the show, and was waiting for you, and then passed out on the couch. Thanks.
Well, I think our listeners can agree it's probably for the best.
People love the fucking field trip episodes.
Yeah,
it's not for the best.
No, you're right. I did fuck up last week. Last week was the day so I was on holidays and I was fully prepared to do the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We went to staying in Red Rock. We drove into Coffs and went to the jetty where the yacht club is there, and there's a fucking yacht club right there. You can sit and watch the yachts. Or on the other side, you can watch people surfing, catching waves. And me and Aaron, we're just seeing this and we're like, you want a coffee? And we're both like, nah, let's have a fucking rosé. Because we're both literally as bad as each other. So that was like 11 o'clock in the morning. So we're like, sweet, we'll do that. And then, well, actually, the reason that happened was because Darren, who's one of our investors and customers at Element Bar, has an awesome venue, Element Bar. He's got a bunch of venues, but one is at Element. And I was like, we got to go there. And so it doesn't open until 12. And so it's 11 here. I'm like, we'll have a rosé. We went to Element Bar, had a beer there. That was cool. Went to the Cough Cellars, I think. Saw Luke there. That was cool. And then on the way back, Aaron's like, the last thing I want to do in Red Rock is go to the bowls club. And I was like, well, we're leaving tomorrow. If you want to do it, we have to do it now. And like the Red Rock only has a shop and a bowls club, and we've been to the shop. So you want to go to the bowls club? Fucking hell, all right. So went to the bowls club. And then they had bottles of rosé for $22. It's such.
What is it with you and rosé?
To drink it there, $22.
Is that good? I don't know. I don't drink rosé.
Unbelievably good. It's so cheap, and like each one came with a little crystal on the bottle. So we got a bottle of that. Got a crystal. Gave it to some random little kid.
Okay.
We're sitting here at the bolo. All the locals are rocking up. Some guy rocks up on a tractor with his 2 kids on the tractor. They get off, go inside. He has one beer. Kids get back on. We give him the crystal. Gets back on the tractor.
He has a beer. Gets back on the tractor with the kids.
It's fine. And then kangaroos come sprinting across the bowling green. We're just sitting here all afternoon, like watching the spectacle. It was so cool.
You know the moral of that story?
Well, I got back this afternoon. I sent you a message and I said after.
Oh, you only got back to Savo?
No. Last Wednesday when we were supposed to do the podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, not a good idea to do it today.
Okay.
Too much wine consumption.
But you know what you should do though?
I drink less rosé on podcast day?
Put a fucking crystal on a can of beer.
Oh, that's sick. I like that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't stay on there though, would it? Oh no, it would. You could
find a way to stick it on there.
Okay. Yes. Could that be our next beer? What about the Adams beer? Could it be? Let's look up Adams.
The Adam
Christmas.
beer.
Yeah, Adam beer. Adam beer. Anyway, that was the point. All right, next question. Adam Shell.
Oh, excellent. Which one?
Okay, I was waiting for that. I'm going to cut that silence out. Question colon. Coming up to the end of the year, can we get a Dan and Hendo best beer and why?
Oh, best beer of the year? Yes, next episode.
Next episode.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to have to write that in our show notes. Good idea. I like that. Luigi, question. Who is going to win the World Cup? Argentina, Brazil, France, or Portugal if Ronaldo signs with PSG? Didn't mention Australia, but we're still in it.
Not watching the World Cup.
Are you really not watching any of it?
No. I like football, not watching the World Cup. Nah.
Like football as in you like soccer?
Yes.
Why aren't you watching the World Cup?
I don't like where the World Cup is.
Wow. So you're not watching it?
No.
Oh. Are you at least looking at highlights on your iPhone that's made in China where people are getting beaten?
Nothing. I'm like, la, 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 la. I'm not listening. I'll wait till the next one.
Wow. Okay. I watched it the other night in my Airbnb and I fucking screamed my head off when Australia kicked that goal.
Mm.
And then the next day, which is a good thing about Airbnb because you really have to fuck up to get a bad review.
Mm-hmm.
They wrote me a review because with sport, like I lose my shit. I lose my
Dan
shit.
screams too much. 2 stars.
No, 5 stars. And they said lovely and quiet guests.
Good on you.
Oh, well, I'll answer the question because I'm watching it.
Rightio.
I know nothing about soccer because it's a fucking shit sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
But God, it's good sometimes, isn't it? Occasionally.
It's a great sport. I love watching it.
It's great. It's just such a shit sport. But who will win? Okay, Argentina. I know nothing about it. Keep that in mind. Probably not them. France or Portugal?
It's Brazil.
I'm going to say Australia.
Brazil.
I'm going to say Australia.
Mate, if we're not going to make it into the 16. We make it into the 16, we're not going to make it to the 8.
You think we'll win? So if we have to make it into the 16, we have to win tomorrow night, 1 a.m. You're going to watch it?
Mm-hmm. No.
You're not even going to find out what happens? Or?
Oh, no doubt it'll appear in a feed or something.
On the phone you bought from China? Or
my bad girl phone.
Your bad girl. Okay. All right.
What's the next question?
That's it. We're done.
Oh, is that it?
Wrapping it up.
Shit. Well,
right.
Good to chat to you.
You too, mate. Let's try and do this weekly. I know we keep saying that, and I take the alpha.
Oh, look, there's been a bit of travel and blah, 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 blah. But anyway, here we are.
All right.
We're back.
Good app. Love your work, mate.
Laters.
Talk to you next week.